Yes, thank you so much for staying tuned with us on Frontline this Friday morning. Just as we do on Friday episode of Frontline, where we bring topical issues, particularly how it affects well-being and some of the things that actually concern us as individuals in the society, particularly parents. And this morning we'll be looking at the impact of early smartphone use on children. You know, there are a lot of debate has been going on for a while as regards exposure of children to smartphone, and some people argue that it causes distraction for them in their academic activities, while some are throwing their weights that it help them to facilitate their academic improvement and all. But amidst of all of these arguments ongoing, I think it's also important for us to join, to lend our voice to the impact it has, particularly when a child is being exposed to smartphone at the early stage. Well, for me, you know, technology is advanced, and sometimes we as parents we also want our children to key into it so that they can move with the trend. However, are we thinking about the other side of it, particularly how it affects their mental health, how it affects their cognitive reasoning, how it affects their academic performances in schools? Even some schools will be even encouraging the use of all of these gadgets when it comes to maybe a child wants to use it to maybe Google search some things on the phone and all of that. But there was a report recently that coming from the CNN Health saying don't give children under age 13 smartphone. And according to a new research, parents should avoid preteen use of smartphone and social media. According to a new research, a study released on Monday found that using smartphone before age 13 could damage kids' mental health. That's a research being conducted, and it was revealed that exposing children under 13 to smartphones and social media could damage their kid mental health.
Yes, you know, starting with smartphone use. Well, let me say that it's because of, like you mentioned, that technology and the fact that, you know, these 21st century parents, it's as if we don't want, you know, we don't want distractions. I remember that, you know, while growing up, if we want to play, there are a lot of, you know, toys that, you know, in form of puzzle that helps the cognitive development of a child that our parents will buy for us, you know, to play with. You know, it will also tax us, you know, to do better. If we do not get it this time around, we want to make sure that we solve that puzzle. But this time around, it seems as if Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's not enough for us. And, you know, we bring our work back home. And in order for us to not to allow the children not to distract us or disturb us, we just give them the smartphone. I think that is where it starts from. We give them the smartphone. Okay, go and play with this phone. And, you know, it's a thing that you give a child, maybe a toddler or a preteen, maybe give him or her a phone, you know, to play with, maybe games or watch, you know, cartoons or things like that. But it's another thing whereby you just feel that, well, you can actually call. Yes, you know, in case I'm not at home, let me just give you a small phone. You know, there was a time that in a particular household, there would be like a small phone where the parents can actually reach out to your children if they are not at home. But because of this 21st century parents or parenting, now we've advanced to the point whereby we give them smartphone, not minding the effects, the mental effect it has on these children, because most times it might just be in an innocent way. They are trying to search something online and they stumble on things that they ought not to. And don't forget that these eyes, you know, we are so, as humans, when we see something, we are so attracted to what we see. It takes a long period of time before a picture clears away from our mind. So if a child is exposed to what he or she ought not to be exposed to at a tender age, if you are not careful, that child will start practicing that thing, that negative, you know, that negative thing he or she has seen, and gradually it will start, you know, revealing or manifesting in the behavior of that child. that child will also want to start experimenting it. And that is why you see a lot of, preteens that they are engaging, sexual immoralities, they are engaging, smoking, all these antisocial vices. It is because they actually see it, they are exposed to it, prematurely. They are exposed to these things prematurely. And even if they don't want to search for it, there is no way, even when you are working on your laptop and it's connected to internet, there are some ads that will just pop up. So it is very important for us to actually take good care of our children and take note of the fact that they ought not to be exposed to some things at a tender age.
No, we do say that parenting is not for the weak.
It's not.
And it has to be intentional. Intentional in all aspects. Well, I was looking at something from that report saying that smartphone use by children younger than 13 was associated to suicidal thoughts, worse emotional regulation, lower self-worth, and detachment from the reality. And the one that struck me most is the fact that it detached them from the reality. Because when they are glued to it, they will thought that the world evolves around whatever activities that go on social media. And they are not ready for reality. They are not ready for what the real life has for them. So I'm talking about suicide thoughts. When a child is so glued to the mobile phone, surf the internet, check social media, and they will go somewhere. But in a case where they don't have data or they don't have anything to do at a time, that is when a lot of evil thoughts will start running through their mind. Perhaps because maybe the phone battery was low at a point, or they did not subscribe for data. And they will be so restless as if their life depends solely on that phone. So that's why I think also, if it's going to for the research to have come up with the fact that it is associated with suicidal thought, cyberbullying is one of the things that could make a child to also have all of these thoughts, because when he or she is seeing a lot of bullying online and name callings and all of that, it reduces their self-worth, it reduces their self-esteem. And before you know it, they will be thinking of ways to commit suicide and to end it all. So if any child is going to use smartphone, just like the research has suggested that such child should not be exposed to the phone until they are 13, until they are teen. But a preteen child or children should not be allowed. And why is this age? Because maybe they thought that, by the time you are 13, you will have been mature to some extent, you will have grown to some extent, and all of that. And it brings us back to schools. This society, as in the system, is even enabling some level of laziness among some teachers, not all. So many times we are quick to say that, some teachers are archaic. They were used to this old format of lesson notes, textbooks and all. And I've come to realize that they are actually helpful.
Yes, they are.
Unlike when a school, fine, technology is good. When a school just asks you to access this thing via this particular link, and they send the link to the children, particularly when they want to mark assignments or they want to do assignment, they ask you to go and read a particular book online. It's good. But are we thinking about the effect it's having on these children? These are children in secondary school. When I attended my child valedictory service of late, and there was a debate among these children that should phones be allowed in school? And I was like, why do we want to use phone in school? What are the teachers doing? So maybe the teacher will just give them phone. Okay, go and give them the assignments. If you don't know the answer, check the phone. Why are we encouraging that in the school? So it goes back from the parent. It starts from the parents to school authorities. Then before we cannot pass the message to the children. But if the child does not get it right from home, if the child is growing up in an environment where the parents are also glued to the phone 24/7. There was a picture that went viral at a point of every child in the home as a gadget, because the parents are also preoccupied with their gadgets. No family bonding, no time to have a heart-to-heart discussion with your children, and all of these are telling on their cognitive development. So this should start from the home. Let them know that there is a time for everything. Yeah. We are not stopping them from using phone. First, just as you mentioned that sometimes we want to get them engaged so that they will not disturb us, we can, okay, just go and be watching cartoon so that you let me be. But while they are watching that cartoon, maybe, okay, you have just 1 hour on that phone. Yeah, you have just 45 minutes, you have just 30 minutes. And after that, oh yeah, can I have that phone back? That is it. Then you can have a talk, like physical talk, not every time you just give them phone. You know, it beats me that even in church, when you see a child, particularly when there is a combined service and we have to have the children in the adult church, you see those children holding phones. As in, there was a day I couldn't take it anymore. I just have to tell the parents, please collect this phone. Let these children also participate in the church activities. You see pastor preaching, praying. These children will be pressing phone in the church. It has actually gotten worse to that extent. So I think parenting, as in parents should all first start this lesson from home, that if you are not at this social stage or you don't have anything meaningful to do with the phone or to surf the internet, smartphones in this is a no-go area. Yes,
you know, I quite agree with you. There should be like a limit.
Yeah,
there should be boundaries. Yeah, there should be boundaries.
That's the
starting word. From home. Don't forget, charity begins at home. If you're unable to control your child, you know, from home, it will be difficult for for you to control that child when the child gets outside there, when he or she gets to the society. You know, you were talking about, the church. It's so unfortunate that, our teenagers, and they will not even sit at the front. They will sit at the back.
So that they will not see them.
So they will not see them. So it is the duty of the ushers. So seriously, parenting has gone beyond, the Yoruba adage we say that is it four eyes that gives birth or two eyes that gives birth, but
the society
will be the one to monitor, to nurture the child. So I think this era of it is me and my child. Me and my
correct my child.
Let that era. Let us just leave that era. Let us go back to that community era whereby elders can actually rebuke a child, in the church, in the society. I believe that if these things are brought back to the society, gradually we are going to have a reshaping society, because the fact that parents now go to schools, to fight, if a teacher actually flogs their child or their children, it has given that child or the children or even the students, it has given them this confidence that no teacher can actually correct me. If a parent, if a mother or a father cannot correct his or her child at home, how do you expect a teacher to correct that child in school and the child will listen? Or how do you expect an adult to correct that child, in their place of, in their worship centers, whether in the mosque or in the church, and they will listen? But it is the responsibility of the parents that you set a limit, set a boundary. The child is not is not up to, the teenage age. Tell the child, or tell your children that between 1 hour or maybe between 5 and 7, you have access to this. And when it is 7 o'clock, you have to drop your gadgets, in a particular place. And we monitor, we follow through. We should not be carried away that, I trust them, they will drop it. No, let us monitor. And let us try as much as possible also that we just bump in on them. Because if we are not careful, yes, you might be saying that they should use their smartphone, or they should use their phone, even if those are teenagers now, that they should use their phone. You don't know what they're actually watching. You don't know what they are into. I remember that, when I was still at home, when I come back from school, I was already in the uni then. And maybe because of the kind of institution I went to, one is actually reserved. When you get home, you go back inside your room, you'll be pressing your phone. My mom will just barge into the room, unexpectedly, while chatting. What is it? What are you doing on your phone? She wants to know. I remember in secondary school, then we're still using Android phones. My dad would just be like, in the morning, he will call our names. This person, drop your phone while leaving. Although we don't take phones to school, we switch it off. We put it in our room. But maybe after family devotion, he will just tell us in a particular day, drop your phone. Like he wants to go through, want to flip through. Then it was the era of to go. He wants to know the friends that you are chatting with. He wants to know. He will go to your history. So a parent should be intentional.
Exactly.
These children are actually smart. They might want to delete them, but bump him on them, like just bump him on them and collect their phones. And I believe that if you have a good rapport with your child, you'll be able to know when your child is actually deviating, when your child starts misbehaving, when he or she starts, acting somehow, you know that this child has been influenced because of what he or she is doing.
Yeah, exactly. And also to corroborate what you said, particularly when they are exposed to social media, they meet a lot of people, they see a lot of things that can even lead to depression, particularly when they, my friend dad is doing this, my friend dad is doing that, and here are your own parents. They couldn't afford the kind of lifestyle your friend's parents are living, and you want to do everything to ensure that you have it. Because these children might be thinking, they are children. It's just a child. It cannot be thinking that way. No. Their exposure to social media can cause a lot of damage if it's not being tailed.
Yeah.
So it is important for, if at all they want to use it, let there be monitoring and let's set boundaries. It's not every time that they were having access to it. A friend was sharing an experience, or they gave a child an assignment, and his own child took her time to do it, like using her brain. No phones, no Google search, no AI. And here is another child using AI. And the teacher marked the one that used AI, scored her higher than the one that used her brain. Right. And I was asking why. Because maybe, AI is going to articulate your grammar and all of that, unlike a child that is using our own brain to do the work. So what is the message you are trying to pass across that? You are not appreciating intellectuals, unlike people that just surf the internet to do the assignment. Copy and paste to do the assignment. So when I talked about schools the other time, that smartphones usage in school could also encourage laziness among the students and the teachers as well, because teachers also want to relax and just go and do it and bring it. You don't even care about where the source for the answers. In as much they got it right, that is it. And parents are also encouraging this when they bring assignments home and we don't have answers to them and we don't want to consult, just go to the internet. Oh yeah, take my phone. Just search the internet for the answers. You can use AI, you can use ChatGPT. You give them, you even give them options of how they can get answers. These are the things that can encourage laziness. I'm talking about their cognitive development, their cognitive reasoning. Sometimes we are not brought up this way. So it baffles me why we are training our children this way. Back then, when we were being raised, there is a family time. There is devotion. People will sit down at the table. We talk about what has happened. We gist. We do a lot of things. But today, when children get back from school, after their assignment, the next thing is phone.
Or their TV.
Or their TV. There should be limits. Well, let's give it to parents that are actually intentional about raising children in the right way they were raised.
Yes,
a man was also sharing an experience that a child has been writing his child has been writing SSC for two times, keep failing the exam until he decided that he removed all the television in the house. I think they had to. He packed them. He collected their phones, and that particular year they made all their papers.
Imagine.
So it tells us that smartphone has its way of disrupting their academic performances, of even causing deviation from academic performances as well.
Yes, I quite agree with you, and I believe that parents, we need to be intentional when it comes to monitoring our children. Yes, another thing that we need to tell them about smartphone is that we need to educate them about, online safety. We need to teach our child or our children about online safety, cyberbullying, like we mentioned earlier, digital citizenship, and a lot more. And also, we need to encourage balanced use. We've been saying it, and it is not bad to reiterate it, that in as much as you give them access to these phones, let it be balanced. You collect it from them in the morning. When they get back, you know, to the house in the afternoon, they make use of it till evening. And when they're about to sleep, let them submit it. And let us go through, you know, what they were actually using the phone for. But don't forget the fact that what we're actually establishing is that preteens should not be exposed to smartphones. No, they should not be exposed to smartphones, because when they are exposed, you know, it affects them. And don't forget the research that says that it affects their mental health. And don't also forget the positive impact of smartphones. We are not, you know, saying that children should not use phones. We are not saying that teenagers should not use phones. No, but let us be mindful of what they are exposed to. Let us be intentional. Let us monitor, and let us ensure that they balance it.
Yes, so as we wrap up this show this morning, what we are just establishing is that don't expose them when they are not teenagers, just as the research has suggested that preteens should not be allowed to be exposed to social media or smartphones, as it has a lot of disadvantages on
addiction
them.
And distraction.
Addiction, depression, anxiety, and it breaks them from family bonds. Like even when you are having your devotions, they will be in their rooms glued with their phone. But what we are saying is that let them get to a certain age that you have molded them. Like they are grounded, they can exercise some self-control. Not at a time when they can do and undo. So that is what we are establishing, and we hope that you will take one or two lessons from our conversation this morning. That's what you take on Frontline this morning, the first day in the month of August 2025. We hope that this month of August will be so seamless, struggleless.
Amen. There's any and it will be easier.
And it will be easier for us as we journey through the month of August. And we hope that you have a fun-filled weekend as well. Many thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week by God's grace. My name is Temitope Oladipo. Good morning.
And I am Victoria Ayonle. Do have a lovely weekend.